musician? Are you a YouTuber? Are you a music YouTuber? What do you call yourself, basically?
I would just say I was a musician.
Just a musician.
I have really utilized YouTube, but I would always just start with musician over anything else.
Okay. And what do you think has made you stand out the most on YouTube compared to other musicians? What have you done differently?
I always kind of had a thing of anything I put out should be quality over quantity. Like the thing with YouTube is if you upload regularly, you get a fan base that keep coming back and share with their friends. But if it's not of a really good quality, then like if you were to put one video out that wasn't great quality, then a whole load of people who watch that would not come back to see the next thing, even if it was good. So that's kind of what I started doing.
And in terms of quality, are you talking about in terms of the performance or the video quality, or?
In terms of, yeah, like in terms of what the content actually is. But I think the thing that made me stand out in the first instance was I spent quite a while when I first got going busking on the streets of Leeds so I could afford a good camera. And like I saved up for a good camera and a good sound system, and so what I was actually recording, aside from like what the actual like content was, the quality of it was really good, and like there were different angles and stuff, and not many people were doing that at the time that I first started using YouTube.
And when did you first start on YouTube?
About 6 years ago.
6 years.
7. 6.
And do you think that you've been able to build up your channel because you started that early?
Yeah, I mean, like there is part of it was I was one of the first people using YouTube like this as a promotion tool kind of thing, and as I was growing, YouTube was growing, and that definitely helped it. But I would also say that it's certainly harder now if you're just going to start using YouTube right now to kind of break out, but it's not an overnight thing. I think a lot of people kind of look for a quick fix, like a diet or anything, you know.
Right.
It's not like that. Like it takes time and it takes persistence to get out of it.
Yeah. I think earlier when we met each other, we were sort of talking about covers on YouTube, and this is something I get a lot from people that we work with in our network in terms of figuring out what type of content to upload onto your YouTube channel. So you obviously do covers.
Yeah.
So how do you decide what covers to do?
Like usually it would just start with do I like the song? And a couple of times I have gone to the top 40 and seen like what's popular right now or what I could jump on, I guess. So when I first heard the Sam Smith song, damn it, it's gone from my mind. Stay with me. So I first heard that on the radio and it hadn't even come out yet, but I could just hear that it was going to be massive. So I just thought, you know, I love the song first and foremost, so that kind of resonated with everyone that watched my performance of it. But the fact that I jumped on it before it was even big, or like while it was getting to be a big song, meant that more people were searching for it than necessarily another song.
Yeah. And was that one of your biggest videos?
I think that's my biggest one today, yeah.
How many views is that?
I think that's on 12 million.
12 million?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you get fans mostly from the UK that are watching your videos, or do you get people from anywhere specifically in the world, or who's watching your videos?
My top views for things like vlogs are UK and Europe, but really like the place where most of my views come from is Southeast Asia. 100%. I think they just like really like covers and really like a stripped down version of maybe like a pop song, or I don't know whether it's like hearing the words more clearly or maybe it's more emotional and they like that kind of thing.
How did you get more views from Southeast Asia then? Do you know?
I just think that like they obviously YouTube is a huge thing over there. And I think it was huge over there, not more so than over here, but it was just like more of a culty. Like when I first started doing covers, there were a lot of people doing covers, and it became so popular in Asia. I just think that maybe it was just bigger over there at the time.
Do you think through, I mean, your YouTube, obviously your YouTube channel has been a big platform for you to work off of, but how do you think you've created opportunities for yourself? Do you think obviously it's originating from YouTube, but what else have you done? And I mean, how much of what you've done has been due to hard work versus chance, do you think?
Yeah, so like the chance bit, I would say, came into it when I first started using YouTube and I have grown like with YouTube. I was definitely one of the first people to kind of jump on the cover thing and do that as a way to introduce myself to people so that they'd have reference, like I'm singing a song that everyone knows so they know I can sing, kind of thing. Aside from that, I'm very stubborn and like persistent and determined, so like music for me is a 24/7 thing. I used YouTube really as a promotional tool, so I would say to promoters, this is the view count I have in this country, I have to tour there, it's a no-brainer, and I would be constantly doing things like that, and I'm doing things to improve the kind of my skills on what I was doing, creating content, playing guitar, singing, but also thinking about ways to make the video look better or sound better or different lights I would use, or just like the whole process, like anything I could do to improve it all the time.
So is that what you're doing most of the time, is that you're focusing on producing video content, making it better and better and better?
Yeah, it's like half on that and half on just songwriting and recording and kind of still honing the music skill of it. But also I'm just very conscious of like anything that I put out needs to be either of a good quality and like a consistent quality or better than that to grow it.
Right. So, sorry, going back to the covers thing, because this just continues to come up. I'm sure it comes up for you. How are you, do you have a plan at the moment for you to sort of transition away from covers and to doing originals? I know you have a single out right now that you're working on, but what is it that you are currently doing in order to go on to the sort of main career path that you're working towards?
Yeah, so we were speaking before and we said like, you know, big artists or major label artists or whoever, like successful artists still do a cover every now and again just to put their own spin on a popular song. So I think I'll always do some covers if I like the song, but like the cover that I did recently of Drake, that cover is the first cover that I've put out in 2 years, and it's just kind of, I just don't do covers that much anymore because I have the fan base now that I can just put out original stuff and back it up with behind the scenes footage from tours or behind the scenes stuff from recording studios. Like I know as a fan of, like I'm such a fan of so many other artists and I want to see more than just one music video or hear one song. I want to see like how they created it and parts of their personality, and so that's what I put up there now.
So how do you decide what type of videos to create? Are you thinking like I'm going to do a vlog a month, or are you thinking of like a ratio or a balance of music kind of video, music performance versus vlogging, or what's your thought process behind it?
For consistency of uploading, I always try and upload a vlog every week on a Wednesday. That like Wednesday at about 6 p.m. is when my views spike. And I think that that's just been created from like when I used to put out covers, I used to do it every Wednesday at about 6 p.m. So people know what to expect and when to expect it. In terms of like schedule for other things, I have things like lyric videos, music videos, things like that going out that I will always back up with vlogs, but just like behind the scenes videos of how I make them, or teaser videos or things like that. That's kind of generally what my schedule is. And then if a song comes out that I really like, throw in a cover. Can't help.
Yeah.
Can't hinder, that's fine.
So why do it? Why upload videos all the time? Why do you want to be a musician? What motivates you?
Yeah, so the thing that motivates me to kind of put up videos regularly is I'm touring different places and be able to keep living as a full-time musician and doing it. The kind of the fame side of it, or like being well known, has never really come into it for me, but I know that I need to at least be accessible to people regularly so that they know if I'm doing a show somewhere, or they know if the new singles come out, and ultimately they buy it.
What do you mean by being accessible? Do you mean
like being visible? Being like, because I don't have, like, I'm independent, so I work with a label services company, but I don't have a label who are necessarily like paying for PR for me to be in a magazine or on TV all the time. So I need to like have a way for myself to be like, yeah, like present and existing in and amongst everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're doing all of your own sort of press and PR kind of things.
Yeah, and sometimes like we'll work with PR companies and stuff, but it's all that's only ever around a release. Yeah.
Right. So do you have a team that you work with, or is it mostly you that's doing everything?
I do a lot, but I have a really good management team. I have a booking agent. I'm working with a PR company right now, so I would say that I have a team, but I also kind of head up most things as well.
Okay. And I mean, how difficult was it for you to be able to find those people to form your team? Like, I'm guessing it took you a while to find a manager or a booking agent. So how did you go about finding those people?
Yeah, so when I was in uni, I started working with a woman who was, at first she was just my friend, and she really believed in what I was doing, and so we were working together for a while, and she was my manager. That kind of came to an end when we both realised that she just kind of, because she hadn't managed anyone before and she wasn't necessarily a traditional manager and didn't have the contacts or the kind of knowledge of how to do certain things, it was just better for me to kind of look for someone who was inside the music industry, which is where I wanted to go. So I had met like a few different managers of people that I was friends with, who were managed by them, and people who I knew of. And it was, I think this was like the 5th meeting that I'd had with a manager, and I'd just, like, to be honest, I just was really sick of people saying that I was great, because I was like, that sounds really stupid and really big-headed, but like, if someone, like, I'm saying that I need a manager, and this potential manager is saying, you're so great, I'm like, well, why aren't I where I want to be? Like, I want someone that says, you're really bad at this, and like, this needs to improve, and it was the first person that said that to me, and I was like, well, let's work together. So, in terms of booking agent and stuff like that, that did take a while, and mainly like convincing, because at the time that I got my booking agent, I didn't have a manager because I was looking for one, and I didn't have a label, so they were like, well, what have you got? And all I had was stats from social media, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So for all the artists that are here today, how would you recommend, or any advice from the journey that you've had so far in terms of forming your team? Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I would say like the main person, like the most important person in your whole team is yourself. And if you're not like prepared to do every aspect of what you want other people to do, then it's not going to work. Because ultimately you need to be the one driving it. Like my management company now, who I think are amazing, and they're called Addicts, if you want to check them out. I will still chase them. Like if they haven't done something within like, you know, a really short amount of time, because I feel so passionate about it, and like, you know, this needs to get done. I will still chase them because I really want to kind of keep growing and keep going. And so did they, but maybe I'm just a bit like a diva, I don't know. But it has to be you who's pushing it ultimately. And then, you know, once you find someone who's good to have around, keep them around. It's common sense, I guess.
So along those lines, who do you think is the person that has encouraged and supported you the most in your career? Is it like your parents or friends or family or manager?
My parents now are so supportive. Like honestly, when I first started doing music, they were just like, go to uni, sort yourself out, get a backup plan, and now they're so supportive. So I would definitely say them. In terms of like when I first started, it was like my friends and people who I was playing songs in my bedroom and kind of busking on the street, but I never had the kind of fan base or the confidence to do a gig of my own. And it was the people then that were saying, you can actually do it if you want to do it.
Right. So, something that I tell a lot of musicians that I work with is that everybody started from zero on YouTube. So, can you even remember that far back when you started at zero and you started uploading videos and started to grow your subscriber base? What were the things that you were doing that you think helped you get to like 1,000 subscribers and then 5,000 and onwards?
I definitely remember. Probably because like the first video that I put took like a week to get 1 view, and when I saw that it had 1 view, I remember like the very first comment that I had on the video, and I was like jumping around the room, and I was like, Dad, look at this, and I was like, get back to studying. But like, just like the euphoria of someone's finally discovered me. The thing that I was doing back then that I think people really resonated with, and I'm still like, when I put cover videos out or videos out and it's just me in my bedroom, is that it's so raw and it's just me and just kind of who I am and my personality or whatever that's coming across, because I am like in my bedroom and it's not necessarily like the quality visually and the audio is always good, but it's not necessarily always in somewhere like an amazing studio, or it's still I don't want to say girl next door, but it's still like accessible and still like people can relate to it in a way.
I saw that you I watched it was like the vlog when you were writing your latest single. And you were in Brighton?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. It was like going to the coffee shop, going to get coffee. Yeah.
Like when I first started doing things like that, I was like, I must find this so boring. Like this is just so boring. Here I am, like making a cup of tea or putting a kettle on or whatever. This is just ridiculous. But then I also in my head have always had this thing like I used to watch behind the scenes videos for Jessie J. I used to be like obsessed with Jessie J. And I would have loved seeing her make a cup of tea. So it's just normal things that you think wouldn't even come into it. If I do a photo shoot, then kind of just chatting to the camera while I'm putting not clothes on, makeup on. Yeah, that's a different kind of show, isn't it? But like just kind of normal stuff. People like to see that.
Sorry, I didn't know until what time I'm supposed to ask you questions. So I'm getting told to ask questions from the audience now.
Okay, cool.
But I think before I do, I just wanted to ask, what do you think your biggest accomplishment to date has been, and also what do you think your biggest failure has been?
Oh God. My biggest accomplishment, I have to say, like, I had a #1 in Vietnam last year with an original song. And that was the first time that I felt like my original songs were really starting to be taken seriously after doing the covers for so long. So that's like my biggest accomplishment. In terms of how other people perceive me, in terms of like myself, I had this like euphoric moment a few months ago where I wrote this song, recorded this song, and was just like, I don't even care if no one likes this. Like, I love this is great. And that was just like I think I'll always remember that moment, because I was just like, at this point, like, this feels like ultimate fulfillment if it's just like you In terms of failure, I've probably blocked it out. I can't think. In terms of failure,
Or something you've done that didn't work out that you learned something from?
So I signed a really well. I still wouldn't like to think that that was a failure, but I do think that like I felt after kind of coming out of that deal period where I was putting regular covers out, I felt like I almost had to keep going with that, and that like mentally was just really like it kind of stopped me from writing my own songs for a long time. And I'd probably just like, I would do it all the same again, but I would just say to myself, you need to stay creative in your own, in what you're doing yourself.
Are there any questions out in the audience? Yes, I'll repeat your question as well.
What microphone do you use when you're just recording stuff in your bedroom, and also what camera?
What mic, so the question is, what mic do you use? And what camera do you use?
Yeah, so on some of the videos that are like pre-recorded, I've used a Neumann UX7 and then visibly an SM58. On the ones that are live, it's just an SM58, and kind of